All right, let's go into the psukim. Just before I get there, I want to let you know that there are four aspects to Yosef Atzadik, one bigger than another, but all of them rely on the previous one. So I have to give them in order. And tonight, because we're not going to have time to cover the four, we're just going to have time to cover one, the basic. Understand, I'll give you, Mr. Hashem, also I'll jump to the end of the fourth to give you a different outlook. So you have, for those who are not coming to the shir on Shabbos, they cannot make it. So you're going to have also an understanding of the godless of Yosef. Because now, with the first one, you'll understand what he was zoiche to this. You will understand that part. All right, so let's go into the psukim. I'm not going to expand a lot on the psukim because we have quite a bit to cover. So after Yosef gave Pharaoh the meaning of his dream, it says in the pasuk, "Vayita v'adava beine Pharaoh." He liked the answer. Ubeine chol avada, because when Yosef spoke to Pharaoh, it was before all the Khartoumim of Mitzrayim. First, Pharaoh called Bilam, his brothers, and his sons, those very sons that are going to do the Egel. They came, he told them the dream, they could not decipher it. Then he called Kol Khartoumim Mitzrayim, anyone that knew magic or anything, which means almost everybody, had to come to Pharaoh and try to, decipher the dream for him. So they were all standing there when Yosef spoke to Pharaoh. So, and that was the reaction of Pharaoh. Vayomer Pharaoh el Avada, Pharaoh said to his servants, Anintzar Kazeh, is there such a person, Ish Asher Ruach Elokim, boy that has the spirit of Hashem in him? Meaning, it was not humanly possible to do what Yosef did, and we're going to understand what it is. As the Midrash said, and the Zohar, he changed the dream. He didn't tell him what he dreamt. He said it differently. As we can see in the Psukim, the second time when he speaks to Yosef, he doesn't tell him first came the 7 fat cows, then the 7. So he changed the dream, and despite that, Yosef was telling him on everything, no, you're mistaking. That's not what you saw. What you saw is this and this and that. So Pharaoh was very impressed that he was able to correct him to the point that he said, were you standing behind me when I was dreaming? So obviously, Pharaoh understood that there's stronger powers here, because Pharaoh comes from Elohim Acherim, other gods. So you have in the Malchus, Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, and then you have Elohim of Kedusha, and under Elohim of Kedusha, to feed the Klippos, they have to have Elohim Acherim. So Pharaoh who was a very big Chacham and a very big Mechashef, he was a big sorcerer, knew about this concept of the Kedusha, only he didn't want to have anything to do with it, but he understood it. And that's what he recognized in Yosef, that he has the spirit of Hashem in him. Vayomer Pharaoh el Yosef, Pharaoh said to Yosef, Achare dia Elohim oischa, eskol zois, after HaKadosh Baruch Hu informed you of all this, So look at the Kiddush Hashem Yosef Atzadik is doing here. Because he told Pharaoh, I am not the one who's going to give you the answer to your dream. It's Hashem. And Pharaoh picked up on this. These Reshaim that believes in sorcery, in front of all Mitzrayim, look at, they hear the king saying that there is an Hashem on top of it. And Novain v'chacham kamoicha, there's no one with Bina and Chachma than you. We'll see what he means, these words, after that. Wow. Wow. You're giving up your house right away, Pharaoh. What happened? First of all, you're crazy, man. Because it says in the Pasuk, Vatipayim ruchoy, to the point that the Sarah Mashkim thought Pharaoh was dying. He was so anguished by the fact that he couldn't find an answer to what he dreamt. So the Zohar explained there are two types of dreams. They're the dreams of the early night, and they're the dreams of almost the morning. And the closer they are to the morning, the quicker they will happen. Nebuchadnezzar dreamt early at night. Therefore, it was not in his lifetime that his dream would occur, but after his days. However, Pharaoh dreamt in the morning. Right before he woke up, this is when he had his dream. And that's why Yosef told him, your dream will happen very, very soon. But what we have to understand, you will be on my house. Pharaoh, you want to be remaining on top of Yosef, you're giving him your own house? Whatever you say, they have to kiss to it. Raka kise egdal mimeka, only on the throne, I'll be bigger than you. In other words, you are bigger than me. The only thing that I have bigger than you is the throne. Michigan. This pasuk really, he gives the keys to everything, to whole Mitzrayim. What did Yosef ask him? Yosef told him, be smart. There's going to be 7 years of bounty and 7 years of famine. Okay, take Yosef and make him minister of agriculture. Who told you to make him viceroy? Who told you to give him all the keys of Mitzrayim and more, as we're going to understand? What's the point? Yosef never even asked for that. He just told you to be smart and to try to plan for the 7 years of famine, because they will destroy the land. So obviously there's a story here behind the story, and a very deep story. I just want to keep on a little bit. Vayomer Pharaoh Yosef nosati oischa al kol eretz Mitzrayim. Look, I placed you in a position that you rule over all of Mitzrayim. And since Mitzrayim was at that time ruling on earth, so Yosef was the ruling on the whole earth. Vayosar Pharaoh estabatoi. Then, like Haman, reminds us the same thing as Haman. He removes his ring, like Achashverosh removed his ring. It's a very well-known concept. These two, the fate of the Bnei Israel changed with these two removals of the rings. There's a lot of soides in the removal of the ring. We're gonna deal with it with our share. I'm not gonna go too deep in it, but I will give you some. So, estabato me'al yadoi, because in case you're thinking that Pharaoh had these rings on his feet. Could have said, Vayasa Pharaoh estabato. What do you mean, me'al yadoi? Vayiten oisa al yad Yosef. Yeah, because, Yosef carries them on the feet also. Vayalbe soisoi big deshesh. Okay, he dressed him with the linen. Vayosem Revid Zahav al Tzavoroi, and he put a necklace of gold. This, I'm going to speak on this Shabbos, because from this, we're going to decipher, on the outside, you're going to see from here that everything has two sides, an outside and an inside. Pharaoh on the outside is mechabed Yosef. He tried to to give him a lot of respect and show him love and show him, so all Mitzrayim respects him. Revid is missing a yud here. It's a short chirik, should have had a yud. It disappeared. And why did he tell me, Vayasem Revid al Tzavaro? Why ha-zahav? Revid zahav. Why ha-zahav? What's going on here? How many errors can you do in Digduk in 2 words? And what if he was, he would have given a necklace of gems, or there would be a difference? Here, there's a tremendous story on all this that changes what the cheshbon of Pharaoh with everything he's giving Yosef. On the outside, he look well-intentioned, but inside, it's very mean-intentioned. Very, very. He put him on the vice chariot, char. Asher Lloyd, that's his. It means his second char, so he had a better one, and he gave the not better one to Yosef. Vaikru, the son of Avrech. They called him an Avrech, and then he was put in charge of all Eretz Mitzrayim. And then Pharaoh warns Yosef. Yosef ani Paroi. Remember, I'm one Pharaoh, ubiladecha, but except for you, lo yarim ish es yodoi ve'esragloi bechol Eretz Mitzrayim. No person can raise his hand unless you say so. That's the biladecha. Ve'esragloi be'eretz Mitzrayim. Bechol Eretz Mitzrayim. Vayakam Pharaoh, and then he's going to change his name. Vayikra Pharaoh Shem Yosef Tzafnas Paneya. Very interesting. Very interesting name. It's a name of Chochmah. You see Chochmah. Vaiten lo es Osnas. Oh, he gave him Osnas. So they didn't ask. They didn't ask him his opinion. He just gave it to him. But Potiphar, the daughter of Potiphar. This time it's not called Potiphar. It's called Potiphar. Now he's not Sarah Tabachim anymore. He's a Kohen Oin. I'll tell you you know what? During this year, I'll go on it. I'll explain you the story. Why his name was changed. Then Yosef started going around Mitzrayim. The Yosef ben Shloshim Shana, the Oim Dolifnei Pharaoh. Yosef was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. Okay, he was 17 when he left, the Torah told us. He was 1 year by Potiphar and 12 years in prison. He was 30 years old, yes. What difference does he make? Why do you tell me he was 30 years old? So if he was 29, at 29, he would have not been able to be Oimed before Pharaoh. If he was 31, he would have not been able to be Oimed before Pharaoh. What is this parsha tell me? We're dealing with a crazy king and a crazy nation. Pharaoh, as smart as he is, because he is, Pharaoh, the letters are Ha-oiref, the back of the head. Look how high Pharaoh is. in the head of the body, the upper body, but he's in the back, yes, because he doesn't want to be in the front where Moshe Rabbeinu is, which is the Das. He is in the back. So he understands a lot. And the only reason the Sarah Mashkim even told Pharaoh about this, you know why? The Midrash says, because when he saw Pharaoh's anguish that was really affecting him so badly, he got scared. He says, if I don't open my mouth, Pharaoh is going to die. And who knows if the next Pharaoh is going to choose me as a Sarah Mashkim. You know, that one time I'll speak about, there are three major, the only ministers that are mentioned in the Torah are three in Mitzrayim. Sarah Mashkim, Sar Ha'oifim, Sarah Tabachim. That result gives a total explanation, completely different, which clippers they are and who they are. So it is, yes, a big story that the Sarah Tabachim changed himself. And he's now Kohen Oin, Kohen for Avodah Zarah. The Zohar HaKadosh in Parshas Chukas brings this pasuk in Parshas Vayeshev. It says, "Ve'Yisrael Ahav es Yosef mikol bana." And Israel loved, which means Yaakov. Why don't you call him Yaakov? We're not here on Parshas Vayeshev. Yosef more than all his children. Ask the Zohar HaKadosh. If there was something, it says, Vayeshev Yaakov beretz migurei aviv beretz Canaan. There's no relationship. This pasuk is not related to what's previous. Why is there a vav? The vav unifies two psukim. It's a continuation. Comes to tell you it's a continuation. But here, there's no beginning. It's a continuation of what? Of what? Explain the Zohar HaKadosh. We see Vashem that we learn on Rosh Hashanah. Vashem pakad esara kasher diber. What do you mean Vashem? Hashem pakad esara. Hashem delivered Sarah. Many times we see in the Torah, even in Mitzrayim, Vashem, Vav and Hashem. Who's this Vav? Since it's not the Vav Achibur, it's not the unifying Vav, what is this Vav? There's a tremendous role. Whenever it says in the Torah Vashem, it says, even the Midrash brings it down, I don't remember where now, but I know this Zohar here says it clearly. Vashem is HaKadosh Baruch Hu u'Beis Dinoi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his Beis Din. Who is the Beis Din of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? It's the Shechina, it's the Malchus. So when it says Ve'Yisrael, explain the Zohar, it's the Shechina and Yaakov Avinu loved Yosef. And in order for those who don't learn the Zohar not to have a question, how did Yaakov Avinu love Yosef more than I create? The Gemara in Shabbos says you're not allowed to for a father, he's not allowed to differentiate between his children. He cannot love one more than the other because then it's Mechiras Yosef. Says the Zohar HaKadosh, even the brothers will admit that Yosef deserved the brachas that his father gave him. He deserved the kavod that his father gave him. And more than this, they helped him take his position. Let me show you this in the map so we have once and we can go really a bit quicker in the share because time flies. I haven't even started. Here is the Malchus, here's the world under. Here's the Malchus, which is Shara Shamayim, the gate to heaven. The Yesod is here, Yosef. Here is Yaakov Avinu. Here are the Shvatim, carrying the Malchus, carrying the chariot of the Malchus. Yosef is here and here at the same time. But this is his place. Eile Toldos Yaakov, these are the, I want to say children of Yaakov. Toldos of Yaakov. Yosef, only Yosef is right here, right under him. The others are much further, depending on Yosef. All the Shvatim are called by the name of Yosef, exactly by the time of the Geula. What was the passage there? In Amos, he says, Ula Yechnon Hashem Eloike Atzevaokoi She'eris Yosef. Maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have Chanina, pity, mercy on the remainder of Yosef. But it's not the remainder of Yosef. Right now, we Yehuda and Binyamin. That's the Shvatim we are. But all the, since Yosef, who Hamashbeh, who's the one who feeds, you see, it's like a funnel. Everything goes to the Yesod, and once the Yesod amassed all the light and all the Shefa for the world, he passes it on like the sun and the moon. He passes on that light to the moon, and the moon, whatever he picked up, sends it back down to the world. So now we're done with this. So we understand that even the brothers will realize at the end of the day that whatever Yosef Atzadik did, he did it for the Bnei Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Yosef first to Mitzrayim, no one else. Ki shelachani Hashem lifneichem, before you, because none of you is capable of fighting the female Nachash, which was in Mitzrayim. Her name is Ervas Haaretz, besides Yosef. And Yosef became a tzaddik by not falling for the advances of his wife's, his boss wife, the Eshes Potiphar. And you know, despite he doesn't say this in the pasuk, but it's brought down in the Midrash, that every day you're 17 years old, you're rotting in a boir. Look at Yosef. He fell in the boir. The brothers put him in the boir. He comes to Mitzrayim. He goes in the boir. And from the boir, there's no intermediary. He's going to go to Melucha, to Malchus. Boir to boir means it was predicted. Something we can start seeing a story here that things are not like they're just happening. They were planned. So Yosef is the first one going there. And now, after the brothers understand the whole story, they realize that everything that was done by Yosef was correct, and he deserves to have the role of the son to the brothers, and he will feed them. Not only feeding them, I'm talking about providing them, you know, the sustenance, you know, as a human, we need certain things to live. No, we're talking about even on the spiritual side, everything that was happening to the Bnei Yisrael, which are the sons of Yaakov, the Shvatim, was because of Yosef, and they recognized his. And from the beginning, the pasuk is going to start hinting us a lot of things. It says, "Yosef hurad Mitzrayma." Yosef was taken down to Mitzrayim. Why it doesn't say Mitzrayim? Why it says Mitzrayma? Because Mitzrayma equals 385. Exactly the value of Shechina. The Shechina that we say loved Yosef never left him from the time he was a kid, because she understood, the Shechina knew that he was fighting the Shifcha, the maid, the servant, the Nachash, the Eshes Zenunim. He knew, in order to raise and reinforce the Shechina, so the Shechina can help the Bnei Israel for the Geula of Mitzrayim. Yosef HaTzadik has such a Ruach HaKodesh that he had foreseen everything till end of time. And Pharaoh knew it. That's why Pharaoh was scared of Yosef. Pharaoh wanted nothing to do. Just please don't bug me. Do everything you want. I'm not even managing you. I'm not even saying anything. You're the one in charge. You're ruling. And everything I'm going to say, I'm going to prove it, because these are big things. Why the Shechina needed to go with Yosef HaTzadik? Sarah Imenu and Yosef are very connected. Yosef HaTzadik, Sarah Imenu took the Shechina the first time and taught the Shechina how to hit the 10 Makos. We spoke about this. So the Shechina will know from Sarah Imenu how to hit the 10 Makos in Mitzrayim, and the 10 Makos also when going to come the Geula Shleima. Because exactly what happened in Mitzrayim will happen before Mashiach comes. We're going to see the 10 Makos. Now, when Sarah Imenu went back to Eretz Yisrael, the Shechina went back, because exactly like Sarah Imenu, Yosef HaTzadik, the Shechina never left him. That's it. I'll give you a proof, just because you're not going to be Shabbos in the Shir, and you need to understand the depth and the clarity that it's undeniable. This. Where were the brothers buried? When you go to Eretz Yisrael, you find Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. Yosef is the only one that brought the bones with them, right? It doesn't say they brought the bones of Reuven, of Shimon, of Levi, Yehuda. So where are they buried? In Eretz Yisrael. In other words, all the brothers requested from their children to bring them right away to Eretz Yisrael. Why didn't Yosef ask the same? Why did he say, when you leave Mitzrayim, bring my bones with you? Because the Shechina has never left Yosef HaTzadik, not in his lifetime, not after his lifetime. Had the bones of Yosef HaTzadik be taken out of Mitzrayim, there would have been no Geula. The only reason there was a Geula in Mitzrayim, that Moshe Rabbeinu was able to perform the Geula, is because of Yosef HaTzadik, because his bones were there. Pharaoh wanted, he said, if I keep Yosef, they're never going to be able to get out of here, because Yosef is their power. He understood that Yosef is their power. That's why he put him into an aron of very, very heavy metal. I forgot how much tons he put on it, and he threw him in the oil. What is the Yesod? The Yesod is Nahar Shalom. Pharaoh, with his nastiness, didn't realize HaKadosh Baruch Hu was taking him for a ride and basically making him do the right steps for the Geula of Mitzrayim to happen. What is the Ye'or? Can't you say Nahar? Can't you say Nachal? Didn't we learn this by Yitzchak Avinu? We learned that. We learned those words. What it means you're coming with a new word now. Ye'or. Yeah, Ye'or. Yud Or. 10 times light. Why? Because Yosef HaTzadik had to stay, says the Zohar, 10 years in prison in order to be able to be roichesh, to inherit, not to inherit, to acquire all the 10 midos. From Malchus to Keser. He had the 10 with him, on him. So Yosef was the Yesod, but Yosef was connected to the 10 midas. And he owned them. And the 2 extra years, maybe Shabbos I'll talk on this. So right now with Yosef, and says the Zohar HaKadosh, that every tzaddik, Yosef passes him a little bit of the Shechina. And the Shechina keeps him Gam ki elech begeitz al maveh, said David HaMelech, even when I go in the valley, Gay is a valley. In Yerushalayim, there's the valley of Hinnom. Gay, Hinnom. Now it's in one word, Gehinnom. Yes, the gate of the Gehinnom is there. It's one of the 7 gates. So, Gam ki elech begeitz al maves loy irara. I am not afraid. Ki ato imadi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu watches over every single tzaddik. What was the problem with Yosef when he started going down to Potiphar? What would be the problem? The problem is that in Mitzrayim, in Eretz Yisrael, the Shechina rules. Everything passes, all the Shefa, all the light, all the bounty comes through the Malchus. However, every nation has its own angel. And everything that goes into that country goes through that angel. And therefore, when Yosef went to Mitzrayim, besides the fact that he had the Shekhinah with him, but the Shekhinah couldn't do anything because there is a minister ruling that country. It's an upper angel. And the Shekhinah cannot do nothing. So Yosef had to overcome that also. What did he do? Wherever he was going, he was saying the name of the 42 letters, the name of Ana Bechoyach. And with that, he was making miracles. The Midrash says that when Potiphar was asking him for cold water, he used to play with him also, exactly like Pharaoh did, and I'm arriving to Pharaoh. He says, when Yosef used to arrive with his cold water, he says, I asked you for boiling hot water. So he says, this is boiling hot water. He would touch, wow, he would get burnt. He says, no, I didn't ask for so hot. I wanted, medium hot. So Yosef would say, yeah, it's medium hot now. He would touch, couldn't understand. He says, brother, I made a mistake. I don't want water. I want this kind of wine. So Yosef, you say, look, master, it's exactly the kind of wine you requested. No, but I want the sweet one. It is the sweet one. And he was losing his mind. He realized that Yosef was unattainable. Because remember the beginning of this year, I told you that the three bigger clippers in Mitzrayim were the three ministers, Sarah Tabachim, Sarah Ophim, Sarah Mashkim, Sarah Ophim, in that order. So Potiphar was a tremendous sorcerer. He was right after Pharaoh. What do you think he was doing when in his house? I mean, what do you think? He saw Yosef. In Mitzrayim, gay relations were as common as, I don't want to go into that subject because I'm going to say a word that some people, I'm not going to regret it, but some people may be offended. And to be honest, I really don't care, because whatever the Torah is what I live by, and that's what I am, a halacha person. And if a person wants to play with his little feelings and he has them misplaced, maybe he is the issue and he has to place his feelings in the right place. He doesn't understand that the world is playing on these people by inventing new reason to be offended, and this is not proper. No, what's not proper is to be that. And we know what happened to Mitzrayim at the end. That's not proper. So Potiphar was under the spell, put it that way in a clean way, under the spell of the beauty of Yosef. And he wanted Yosef very badly. So he was saying spells. And those spells were not working. He was getting so mad out of desire that he couldn't live anymore. Worse than his wife. So he said, I only have one solution. He took a knife and quick. So now, because he's not anymore a man, put it that way, he lost his power and his standard as a sorcerer. And then he made himself a priest. That's the reason he went to priesthood, because he could not be with the Sitra Achra requires from the person to soil himself with unconscionable ways and things. Otherwise, it doesn't lend you its powers. And that's the transition of Potiphar from Sarah Tabachim to Kohen Oil. So the danger for Yosef still there. Okay, he bypassed the spells. That's the spells of a human. But he has another problem. The minister of Mitzrayim, the angel of Mitzrayim, called Rahav. That guy saw his people, his soldiers down there losing in the battle. He's not happy. He's going to come to battle. So how does he do it? Everything that grows, everything that comes in the house, if the house is under the ownership of a goy, everything that's there is tummy. Why is it tummy? Because the angel of that country inject inside there whatever he has to inject. And since Yosef was in the house of a tummy person, he brought with him bread from Eretz Canaan. I don't know how much he wrote, how long the miracle lasted, but obviously it's a miracle. And if we have time, we're going to see what does he mean, this bread, and how the bread is merumaz in the name of Yosef himself. Because everything is in this name of Yosef. Yosef himself, in that name, whatever, now I'm telling you stories to bring you inside more and more and more and more, but in the center, there's a gem. And that gem is called Yosef. And everything I'm going to tell you, we're going to find it there. In that very word. Well, I'm going to use Tafnas Paneya also. I may use Osnas also, but I'm going to show you in a very little kernel that everything is right there. So that was the danger. So what did Yosef do? He did everything in a way to show that he is Ish Matzliach, a successful person. Like the Magid Mesharim, the angel that was teaching the Bes Yosef, said that even when people were buying any schoira, any merchandise, and they would lose money on it, Yosef would make a lot of money out of it. Therefore, Potiphar came to the conclusion, it's not worth for me to expend efforts, time, go to work, and do everything. This guy, whatever he touches, turns into gold. I don't work anymore. But the outcome of this, it became the house of Yosef. It's not anymore the house of Potiphar. Therefore, the Shekhinah could go and had a place where to be, and the angel of Mitzrayim had no right to get in there. He could not. And this is the safeguard Yosef did for himself. When he went to prison, same thing happens. What it says in the Pasuk, and the Sar Beis HaSoyer, the minister of the prison, gave him the whole thing in his hands. It became what? The house of Yosef Atzadik. Shekhinah was with him. Shekhinah needs a place. We have the Beis HaKnesses here, but Yosef Atzadik needed a place. Needless to repeat that, as a young boy, being thrown again a second time in a boiler, and having this Zuleika coming every day telling her, you come with me and I'll get you out of the pit, must have been, for a young kid, a teenager, it's very tempting. But Yosef stood by his dream. Hashem gave him a dream that from the pit, he's going to go to Malchus. He's going to be to royalty. She's not royalty. That's not my path. From what we just explained, you understand why he needed the house of Pharaoh also. But let's move on a little bit on this subject to just uncover who is Yosef and show you in the pasuk what I just said, so you can crystallize it and not keep it as a story because it's written down. It says in the passage, so we say Mitzrayim equals Shechina. Yosef took the Shechina down with him to teach the Shechina how to go in Galus and be with the Bnei Israel. So let me ask you a question. Since the Shechina never leaves Yosef, how can the Shechina be with us in Galus? Can someone give me an answer?
Because his bones aren't here.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
The bones aren't here.
What?
His bones. He's not buried here.
No, but not today. Let's say today we're in America. And the Shekhinah follows us to America. We know that because it has to be with us in Golus. Imoi anoichi betzara. That's a avtacha, that's a guarantee HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us that every time, wherever we in a tzara, he's going to be there with us, which means the Shechina. How can the Shechina be here if the Shechina never leaves Yosef? Because Yosef is here. Indeed, the Shechina never leaves Yosef. So if the Shechina needs to be here, Yosef needs to be here. And I'll show you how Yosef is here. Vayvarech Hashem es Beis HaMitzri. Remember that thing. I have to show you how Yosef is here. It's tremendous. Vayvarech Hashem es Beis HaMitzri. HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed the house of the Egyptian. Biglal Yosef. Biglal. I love that word. How much is Biglal?
65.
Very good. I got some. I'm going to get a lot of help. Before I was talking with myself. From now on, I'm going to start getting you guys involved. How much is this? The name of in the Shechina, Adnus? 65. Is the Shechina. We're going to start finding them all the time. They're there together. He was. Vayhi, the pasuk keeps on going. Vayhi ish matzliach. What is ish matzliach? Equals 489. What was there in the Beis Hamikdash? HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shechina. That was the place of the union of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shechina in the Beis Hamikdash. David HaMelech calls him Heichal Kodshech. I'll prove it to you. How much is Heichal?
$65.
Very good. Thank you for doing my job. Heichal here. This is where the Shechina is. We're gonna uncover them exactly where they are, how they come, the oil, everything. Where is Kodshech now?
The shul?
No. How much is it?
424.
424. Very good.
Oh.
Nachem, you're a beast. 424 is a magic number. Magic. In this number, it's the beginning, the middle, and the end. Because 424 equals Mashiach ben David. It's a very well-known number. Equals Mashiach ben David. But it's called what Yaakov went through in the middle. Mavar Yaboik. I'll give you the Mavar Yaboik. Mavar Yaboik is it's a well that has no bottom. Nobody. Everything goes into around this yabot. So and this marva, this passage always says there's a transition between one situation to a situation higher. When Yosef told them at the end, when he revealed himself, he says, my mission was lehachayos am rav. If Bnei Yisrael would have gone with the Shvatim normally to Mitzrayim, there would have been no Jews left. They would have been falling into the klipa. Am Rav. Ma'avar. Am, look in the opposite. Rav. Exactly what Yosef said. The transition of Bnei Israel from slaves to a nation, a proud nation, called under the names of Yaakov Avinu. And same as his story, they were Avadim, they go to Melucha. They're going to be able to control the world. And it will depend on them. This is the koyach of Yosef. Whatever the Midrash has 27 things or 24 things that happened to Yaakov happened to Yosef. Doesn't mention this one, but I'm telling you, Yaakov did his mavar yabok, Yosef did his mavar yabok. And so we see that Yosef Atzadik, when he is ish matzliach, it doesn't mean he's successful. You know, we look on the outside, like the Midrash said, the Magid Mesharim explained, he was buying a schoira, he was buying a merchandise where everyone would lose money with, but he would be successful. No, there's a lot of more depth into there. That whenever Yosef Atzadik was undertaking in order to start creating the Bnei Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would give his blessing to Now, if you take Ish Matzliach, you need to understand you're in Mitzrayim. You are in the land of the biggest perversion on earth. So you are fighting the two snakes, the Sam and the Nachash, the male and the female. How do you fight? We are today in America. There is up there a minister, an angel that is responsible to bring the bounty to America, to sustain every human being. There are his soldiers. That's not our land. Our land is Eretz Yisrael. We're here in Golus. So what can you learn from Yosef Atzadik to overcome the powers of these ministers? Now, if you take Ish Matzliach, interestingly, Nachash is the 358. Sam is 100, 458. 458, you're missing 31 to be Ish Matzliach. The components, the nastiness, you can turn the nastiness of this angel on themselves if you have this 31. What is 31? Kel melech Yosef al kisei rachmim. Kel. 31. Hashem, Hashem, kel rachum v'chanun. The first midah of the 13 midas is kel, 31. What does it mean? Okay, how can I use that midah? Because that midah can overpower even the worst things from these snakes. What is that midah? Kel is the name of Chesed. In the midah of Chesed, the one who was using that shame is Avraham Avinu. The poison to the snakes is doing Chesed. The poison to the snakes is not disparaging against each other. It's to be unified. This is a form also of Gemilus Chasadim to the Shechina, which has in its head as its crown, a crown called Knesset Yisrael, the entirety of the neshamas of the Bnei Yisrael. They are one. When someone starts disparaging and someone starts, oh, I am not this and I am not that, and you have this and you have that, but not in a way to say, to be constructive, in a way to be negative. Oh, I don't pray for these guys because I don't hold that, you know, right there. stop. You're affecting the keser of the Malchus. You will pay the price. The Malchus has a shame at its bottom called Eloikim, or Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. Remove the Aleph that came from the Bina, from Keye. Remove the latter. What do you have left? Dalet Nun Yud. Put the Yud in between the Dalet and the Nun. What do you have? Din. The Malchus is about Din. There's no chochmas with the Malchus. You do right, you do wrong. There's no rachim, there's no middle ground. You need Yosef to bring the middle ground. Okay, no, we're going to wait because he was not sure it's this and it's that. Now, I'm going to connect you the end and go back to the beginning, but I need you to focus with me on this. In the last puzzle, which obviously I don't speak in the first year, it should have been in the last year, but you know what? I need to give you this and go back and I will show you so you will understand. We asked, why was Yosef, do you have to mention, was Yosef Shloshim Shana? He was 30 years old when he was standing before Pharaoh. From this, I'm going to take you the whole thing out. Shloshim Shana equals 1035. Equals 5 times oil. How many times it says in Parshas Bereshis the word oil? 5 times. Oyer Haganus, the Oyer and Soif, is 5 times Oyer. When Yosef Atzadik became 30, he had reached the level that he had the Oyer Haganus with him. Now, not only, so what did Adam Arishan says the Midrash with the Oyer Haganus? What was he able to do? He was able to see from one side of the world to the other side. In what I mean, you see from one side of the world to the other side, you were able to see through every generations, all the sorcerers, and till the end. And this, Yosef Atzadik knew what he had to do. So Yosef Atzadik was in Galus Babel. Yosef Atzadik was in Galus Parasumadai. Yosef Atzadik was in the Galus of Yavan. Yosef Atzadik is in Galus Edom. And Pharaoh thought from his own Chachma, he called him, how did he call him? Let's see the pasuk. He called him Tzafnas Panei. This equals, so I can never forget this number, 828. Two times and Sof. What does he mean? 2 times and Sof. We understand that 5 times equals and Sof. This is, so the and Sof that shine on Adam Arishon was the 5 times that he mentions That's it. What he means, 2 times and Sof. So 2 times 5, 5 times how many times it is? 2 times 5, it's 10. It's Ye So where was he buried? In his Midah. Pharaoh thought he would punish Yosef or the Bnei Israel. No, that's the Midah of Yosef. He is 10 times How can you be 10 times if there's only 5 times That's the question. Because there's a mirror Shamayim, Aretz. Everything that's up there is down here. Yosef is the Yesod. Tzaddik Yesod Olam. He's the base of the whole entire world. Everything that happens in this world has to go through the tzaddik, and he changes the gzeros. Nothing can, no decrease, no angel, no one can do anything in this world unless Yosef HaTzadik sees it. But Yosef HaTzadik is also, and that's what the Zohar reveals, Yosef HaTzadik was the Merkeves HaMishne, the secondary chariot down here. But he is also up there in the Atzilus. He was not only Zoiche to the Yesod down here, he was Zoiche to the middle of Yesod up there, just as Yaakov Avinu was Zoiche to the Tiferes up there. And Yosef started with the hatred, started with the dream. His greatness is achieved through a dream. You're going to see, I'm going to bring you down the whole thing down to 4 components and then into 1. Look at this. We're going to start now landing on Yosef HaTzadik. So now we understand Safnas Paneya, even though I should have told you also why he wanted to give her Osnas. Because she was not important. You didn't even know her parents. And her name said that she is the daughter of someone, of an oines, someone that was raped. Pharaoh's intention were not good, but this equals to 511. There's a lot to learn from Osnas, but I'm just going to give you one. It's Tanin plus the Kelul. Pharaoh is called Hatanin Hagadol. Moshe Rabbeinu will fight the great crocodile. But Osnas already tied him up. She is the one that has the power. And if you take Safnas Paneya plus Osnas equals 1,339 equals Az, Bris, Bain, Habesarim. All this was planned between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Avram Avinu. All the unfolding of these events to the smallest detail you're going to find Bris Beis Habesarim there. Nothing happens as something, out of the box, like something was innovated. No. Everything that's going to unfold between the brothers and Yosef himself was even the fact that he was called Safnas Paneya, which is an admission that he is in the Yesod on top. Why Osnas was given to him? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu said this is his zibug and she should be given to him, and so forth, because there's a reason for Moshe Rabbeinu later. All this was planned in Bris Beis Habesarim. So just for you to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is present and he's in paying attention and controlling every sub-detail in the world. There's no such a thing as someone insulting us that we have to respond. No, we don't have to respond, because we have to see with the eyes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is controlling the world and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking to me. And therefore, this came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu and no one else, because if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to shut him up, he could have muted that guy. It's come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The best thing is to never respond to this. Anyway, so we have Yosef here. We know that Yosef equals 156. equals 6 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, just as an introduction. Yaakov equals 182 equals 7 times Yud Ke Vav Ke. So the difference between Yosef and Yaakov is 1 time Yud Ke Vav Ke, 26. But now let's get those names to speak to us a little bit. So if we start Yosef in full, Yud, Samech, no, I forgot, sorry. Vav, Samech, Pei. What is it equal to? 234. Please give us a second. Oh, yeah. So Yosef Chaloim. Written like this without a vav, because Chaloim like this without a vav equal 3 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, says the Ari HaKadosh, and Yosef should have understood from the Chaloim of the Saramashkim, which is written with the vav, that it's not that one, even though there are, kind of interesting details in the Chaloim, like the 3 branches, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and he thought that was it. No. So we're talking here, Yosef Chaloim. You see that the Chaloim and Yosef are one. He's going to be sold because of a Chaloim, and because of a Chaloim, he is but this, as I mentioned before, all the Galuyas, everything, Kates HaGeula. He's going to be till the end, till the Geula. Yosef, if there's no Yosef Atzadik, and that's why he needed Yaakov Avinu, so he prepared the Shechina, he prepared Mitzrayim, Pharaoh gave him everything. What did Yosef do? I'm sorry, I don't know where I am right now. Oh. You couldn't see what I wrote?
No.
Oh, yeah. I was not on a sharing thing. Sorry. I was writing on a different document. I make that mistake. So yeah, I can open a different document. So let me. Okay. Now you can see?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Yosef, 6 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, Yaakov, 7 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, together 13 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, the utmost. Yosef prepares Mitzrayim so Yaakov Avinu could come, not to get soiled by the tumor of Mitzrayim. This is Yosef. Started with the Chaloim, ended up with the Chaloim. Yud, Vav, Samech, Pei equals 234. Yosef, Chaloim. In other words, if you take the inside letters of Yosef, equals 78, Chaloim. So you have Yud, Vav, Samech, Pei on the outside. The inside you have Chaloim, 3 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, is Lechem, which I told you, Chaloim are the same initials as Lechem. What did Yosef HaTzadik do? First thing, what did he do when he arrived and he started controlling Mitzrayim? What is the midrash? And I'm going to end up on this. I don't want to take you further on that. What did he do? He tried controlling all the grain. Obviously, the agricultors, understood that there's going to be 7 years of bounty. They believe in Yosef, so they're starting putting aside also in their farms, try hiding food for the 7 bad years. What happened as soon as the famine started and they started, those farmers started taking out their food? How was their food? Rotten. Because Pharaoh understood, Yosef told him through his dream that the clippers are so strong that there's a Xera on Mitzrayim to be destroyed. There's nothing you can do. That's the reason the 7 skinny cows swallowed the 7 fat cows, and you couldn't even see that they swallowed them, because this is going to be the end of Mitzrayim. You guys have been like Sodom, and so Pharaoh understood that. Pharaoh knew how to go into the midst and look, and he saw Yosef was right. So he saw that he is the provider. Anything that he's going to touch won't be affected by the din on Mitzrayim. But whatever was in the hand, exactly like the Makkah of Dam, whenever a Mitzri, even though he was purchasing the water from a Jew, as soon as he would touch it, it would turn into blood. The grain, if he was in the hands, he came from the hand of a Mitzri, he would turn into rot. First month, first few days of the famine, they open the safe place and they see everything is rotten. Only by Yosef, it's not rotten. You see the power of the klipa onto food. Therefore, Yosef never wanted to eat anything from a goy. Therefore, Chazal are makpid on bishul goy. We don't understand that once we ingested food from goyim, automatically the klipa has a hold on us and can pull us, so there's strings. And depending how much we have, because a person can fall. And therefore, when he owned all the money of Mitzrayim, he left. So he took all the money. He took everything. He left only the people and the land. And he told them, I will give you seeds. They came from the hand of Yosef. Therefore, the wrath stopped right away. Yosef Atzadik, when he got to that level, he told his father, he sent to his father, you can come down here now. There's no more minister. There's no more klipa in the whole Mitzrayim. Who is ruling on Mitzrayim is the Shechina. And only after the Ptira of Yosef, it says, Vayakoy Melech Chadash al Mitzrayim. Who is Melech Chadash? Up there. A new Melech on Mitzrayim. He came to ask permission to Hashem, okay, now Yosef is not there. Can I take back my Mitzrayim? Hashem said, you can. But the Shechina will remain with Yosef. And the same thing, if we take, and that's the last thing, if we take, I don't know if I said it last week, I believe I did, but I don't know which year anymore. If we take Yaakov Avinu and we write it in full, Yud, Ayin, Kuf, base. But we're not going to calculate the whole thing. We're only going to calculate the inside. So we're going to remove 182, which is Yaakov, from the equation, just the inside. How much is it equal to 556, 566 equals Mashiach ben Yosef. Ele told us Yaakov, the toldest of Yaakov, inside his name he has it. The whole fight will be Yaakov Yosef against the whole world. There's nothing to fear, because Yosef Atzadik, which is the Mashpia, is always with the Bnei Israel, and when needed, he can bring Yaakov Avinu with him, and 13 times Yud Kevavke can overpower Esav and Ishmael. As remember, Yaakov Yosef equals 338. Their Malach is called the Sam, Samech Mem Aleph Lamed, which is 131, plus Rahav Resh Hey Base. It's 207, the opposite of the Ur, exactly the same number as Ur, but in darkness. And the two together equals 138, and which is Esav now, which married the daughter of Ishmael, and Yaakov and Yosef, and obviously Yosef already called his father at its time to free the Bnei Israel. B'mehera b'yameinu, amen.